Hey, there was another blow to Democratic hopes of regaining control of the House. The Missouri Supreme Court upheld a new congressional map that could help Republicans win an additional seat in November. Missouri was the second Republican state after Texas to redraw its congressional districts at President Trump's urging last year.
Did John Roberts just say Missouri?
That's what I heard.
Did he do the on the end of that? I'm excited about that. I need to know, is he one of us? I don't even know. Anyway, Missouri. That's not the takeaway from the clip. The takeaway is that map. I don't know. Maybe Attorney General Catherine Hanaway knows. Is John Roberts a Missouri guy? He just said Missouri, I think, in that clip.
Yeah, I heard it. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Yeah, we'll get the Annie Frey Show investigative team on the case there. Let's talk a little bit about those Missouri maps, because I'm going to tell you what. We have the Missouri Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, on with us right now. When I look at the current Illinois State District map and how convoluted it is, and then I go look at the Missouri map, it doesn't, I don't know how anybody on the left could look at the new map that is drawn and say that there's funny business going on there.
No, in fact, the Missouri Supreme Court, on the day that clip came out, found that the new map is more compact than the old map.
Oh.
There are more counties and more cities that remain intact and undivided between congressional districts. The only place that even has an argument is Kansas City, but it's such a big metro area, it was divided anyway. So, St. Charles County used to be in 2 congressional districts. Now it's in 1. And that happens over and over again throughout the state.
Talk to me about your thoughts from that legal expertise position that you have as the Attorney General, watching what Missouri was able to do and watching what a lot of these other states are able to do or trying to do right now in wake of the Supreme Court ruling with Callais. What that ruling was supposed to articulate to all these different states who have all taken kind of a different approach to their districting maps.
Well, it's been really interesting because it's been for, such a long time period when there's been this presumption that you had to draw majority minority districts. And what the court did was say, hey, we're beyond those days that this provision was written for, where African Americans couldn't get elected to the Senate or be mayors or be members of the House of Representatives. And so I think long term we'll see Missouri draw a new map. Maybe it won't be till the 2030 census, but it will more genuinely represent the state. And I'm glad to see that Louisiana is redrawing their maps to comply with the Supreme Court hearing.
Yeah, I think
it's
definitely something that is being politically charged in debate on, radio talk shows and cable news and everything. But at the heart of it, what did the Supreme Court confirm that Missouri, when they put it together? What is the requirement when drawing a district map? What are the responsibilities of those who are drawing it state by state? What are the things that they have to take into consideration now that we know what they cannot take into consideration, which is the racial configuration of those districts?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. The district should be as compact as possible and as population equivalent as possible. So you want to have districts that are, contiguous and as small as they can be with the same amount of population in each. Those are the requirements. It shouldn't be that tough to draw maps.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Do you feel as though if you look across the country that the Republicans have taken advantage of trying to cut apart districts in, big cities like Kansas City or St. Louis or Chicago or whatever? Is there a heavier weight on one party or the other taking offense into the way that some of these maps have been drawn?
No, I think Republicans are just catching up with what Democrats have been doing forever in terms of drawing the most politically advantageous map that they can. You saw what they did in Virginia, and I was glad their court said, no, you reached a little too far putting on the ballot that this was a fair map or a fairer map. The thing that I think we have to do is, and I hope we prevail in our lawsuit, which is challenging the Census Bureau and saying, please stop counting illegal immigrants. Mm-hmm. What it does is it gives California too many seats in Congress and Missouri not enough seats. We've lost 2 seats in the last couple of decades. If we win on that suit, we should get them back. the reason these other states have been picking up seats is because they count illegal immigrants, so they get too many congressional seats, too many electoral votes, and too much federal money. It could change who's governing the country for the next 30 years if we win that lawsuit.
We're speaking with the Attorney General of the state of Missouri, Katherine Hanaway, regarding those maps where the Missouri Supreme Court ruled in favor of the maps that were redrawn. And as you mentioned, maybe a new map will be redrawn in 2030. We'll wait and see. I think the citizenship question is a huge one, and I hope to see that come to fruition as well. I want to shift gears to a lawsuit that your office has filed. Now, I don't know a whole lot about cryptocurrency. I've never been to a crypto kiosk or anything like that, but there are apparently in the state of Missouri people who have been defrauded by these, and you are trying to put a stop to it. Talk to me about what this case is and what you're trying to stop from happening.
So just to start with the very basics, there's machines all over Missouri, at least 300 of them statewide, maybe 350 of them, and they look just like ATMs, but they purport to, if you put your cash in, that you're buying cryptocurrency. But two things that we have found with them. Number one, they're charging fees that are much higher than the $3 they disclose, maybe as much as $1,000 per transaction.
Whoa.
It's absolutely nuts. And then the second thing is that they have become sort of the getaway car for fraudsters who are ripping people off in scams. So the three that we highlight in our lawsuit are a veteran who thought he was making a wise investment by buying crypto, who put between $180,000 and $200,000 into one of these machines over time, and his money is just gone. The next lady was a single mom who has her children in the car, and you can see on camera her running from cash ATM to cash ATM to gather money because somebody in a phone scam has told her, you missed jury duty, and if you don't send us at least $1,000 through one of these Bitcoin ATMs, we're going to come and arrest you.
Oh, my gosh.
She puts her money in. And then a third woman who is told that there's a warrant out for her arrest, and she should put $9,000 in. Now, she put $1,000 in, but luckily after that kind of got the sense that it was a scam, and so stopped doing it. But we think statewide that as much as $7 million in fraud could have happened based on the Highway Patrol's projections on the cases they've investigated.
So you're bringing suit here. What happens next?
So we brought suit against a company called Coinflip to put them out of business in Missouri. They're the biggest of these ATM companies, but you're probably going to see additional suits. We started this investigation late last year. There's a number of other companies under investigation. So we need the court order now. We need to win that court order to get this first company shut down and hopefully allow us to start recovering restitution. In that case, we've claimed about $1.2 million in fines alone, and we'll have restitution on top of that.
Is it possible there are Missourians listening right now who've been affected by this?
Absolutely, 100%, and they should report it to our office. That would be very helpful to us.
What's the process? If you're saying something and they've got this pit that is formed in their stomach right now because you're talking about something that they experienced, and we all get that kind of little bit of a vibe or a feeling after you feel like that was that a scam? Is that maybe something that wasn't above board? You're talking about this and you're bringing that pit right in their stomach right to the forefront. What do they do?
Go to our website, ago.mo.gov, and you can either fill out a complaint form there, or you could find the phone numbers for the Jeff City office, the St. Louis office, any of those offices you can call and make your complaint. And it really is how these cases get started, is we hear from real people who are having real problems, and then we start to investigate them.
All right. Well, Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. You're fighting for Missourians, and oftentimes those who are not Missourians are benefactors of your hard work. So thank you for sharing this story with us, and I encourage people to contact your office if they feel they may have been affected by this particular issue.
Annie, I so appreciate you having me on. And the other thing that I'm hoping to do by talking about it a lot is encourage people not to get duped by one of these fraudsters. And the real red flags are they're reaching out to you. They're claiming that you're in some kind of trouble, whether it's they're claiming to be the IRS or serving a warrant or that one of your loved ones is in trouble. And there's a sense of urgency about you getting to one of these machines and putting cash in them. And this is the real easy, bright line. Don't put any cash in these Bitcoin ATMs.
Yeah.
If you want to buy cryptocurrency, that's a whole different issue. Go to somebody legitimate, like your financial advisor or your broker, or, even, go to Charles Schwab and open a little account there, something, but don't go to these Bitcoin ATMs.
You've kind of spurred another question in my mind right now. I was talking with somebody yesterday who was just telling me that their father has been, again, duped by a scam, somebody who is, asking for money, or I guess sometimes they're threatening and sometimes they're, we might see that it's too good to be true, but maybe that's not the first inclination of the person who's trying to be scammed. Do you have any advice for people listening right now whose parents are experiencing this? Anything that they can do to help protect them?
Yeah, I would say that anytime somebody reaches out to your parent and asks for money, you need to encourage your parent to say, hey, look, I'd like to have either my kids or my lawyer just call you back. Can I have your number? And the first real red flag is they won't give you a number to call them back at.
Yeah, they're probably hanging up.
Because they don't want anybody looking into them. Exactly. And all the parent needs to say is, hey, I need a little more information. At what number can I call you back?
That's great advice. That's very simple, too, that mom and dad can likely easily say that, get a pen and write it down. And if it's legit for whatever particular reason, you write it down, kid calls back, and then you move about the business. That's great advice. Thanks for being with us today, Katherine Hanaway. We look forward to having you back again soon.
Yep, really appreciate it, Annie. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Yes, you too, as well.